Hey everyone, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and I'm going to tell you the truth about the overreaction to the Kyrie Irving tweet and the whole Kyrie Irving situation. I'm going to tell you the real truth because there's just so many disingenuous people in this news media. I'm going to break this down. Okay, we talk about Kyrie Irving and his tweet about what was on Amazon from the Black Hebrew Israelites and what they feel and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into religion. I'm not going to get into what they believe. I'm not going to get into what Kyrie believes. But I do notice something about Kyrie. He's a seeker. And so he's looking, and he tried to explain this to the reporters who don't like him and have an agenda. And I'll get to that too. He's trying to explain, I'm seeking. So there were some things I saw and I liked. He probably didn't see the whole documentary. He even said, "Listen, I saw things that I didn't agree with. I didn't know." He apologized, and that would be it. But I knew because of his previous time, he wasn't compliant to the one thought, one way sports world that they were going to really come after him. And the one reporter despised him, and you could hear the hate dripping out of his microphone when he was asking him those questions. And he was trying to give an honest answer. Hey, man, listen, I'm not this, I'm not that. This is how I feel. I'm seeking. This is what I believe in my heart. This is what I believe my faith is taking me. And they were just like, they let him have it. And then when he looked and saw different things he didn't like, he said, "I'm sorry." Got it. But this is the problem I have. Is not the anger toward Kyrie's tweet, but the lack of dissertation, the lack of dialogue where you can say, "Listen, this is what I had problem I had." Kyrie said, "Okay, I believe this," and then you could go back. There was no back and forth. There was just the hammer, and then everybody pounced on him. And even when he apologized, and they want more, they want more. I want more. I want to twist your arm harder. You got to do this. You got to do that. So he got suspended for 5 games, which I don't believe he should have got suspended for 5 games. Um, if you wanted to fine him, if he wanted to pay the defamation league $500,000, okay, I see that's company policy. I got it. The issue I have is the process and the reaction from everyone. And there's a lack of reaction from a group that I got an issue with. But first, the reaction from the pundits coming down to him like he wrote the book. And he said, "I didn't write the book. I didn't put this on Amazon. I tweeted, I liked it." He didn't say what parts of it he liked. He didn't say he liked the whole thing. He didn't talk about it. But they got all over him and they called him names. But this is going back. This is previous history stuff where they're saying, "Listen, I am mad at you because you're just not compliant. You're different. You're your own man. We do not like that. We need complete corporate, one thought, one way compliance." And Kyrie's not that guy. I actually saw Kyrie in the summer and talked to him. He was at he's running a charity tournament at Kane University in Union, and I got to talk to him. And I was like, wow, okay. I was like, I see, I understand, dude, a little bit, but I'm gonna give Kyrie a criticism at the end of this segment of what he should do going forward. And just the players and the former players and the pundits just coming down and calling them this, calling them divisive, and all day long, this guy just, you got to get rid of him. Maybe he should be out of the league. That's not going to happen. Not average almost 30 points a game. So let's stop with the nonsense there. But the owner was taking a stance, and it was just a lot. It was just too much because of the fact that there's so many other players who do comply and have the one thought, one way system that's in the sports world. you'll see them have all types of different tweets that are dangerous and that could be construed as a tweet that's could really be divisive, and nothing happens. But they're connected well, and they're okay inside the media. They're okay. Kyrie's not, and that's why there was a hyper focus. There's an extra hyper focus on what he says. And I listened to the GM. There was one good thing I heard from the GM, and there was one really ridiculous thing that he said. I'll get to the good thing. He said, you know what? We're going to have him reach out to the Jewish community, which is cool because that creates dialogue. And he says, listen, we'll have him talk to rabbis, and Kyrie will do that. Kyrie, he's not this defiant guy that's just pure evil like he's being made out to. So Kyrie could share what he knows. The rabbis could share their history. They could do it in love. And now a bad situation turns good, which is good. That's a good idea by the GM where Kyrie goes out and does that. And now the focus could be on basketball and the talent that the Nets are. And they're a good team, and their injury, when players come back off injury, they're going to be better. So that's why they're spending 5 games was ridiculous, but they did nevertheless. He'll come back after 5 games because he did issue the apology again. So I mean, they got their pound of flesh, and that's a good thing. He'll be out in the city in Brooklyn in the synagogues, and they'll talk to him about the Torah. They'll maybe talk to him about the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch and the Maccabees and all that, because I know my Jewish history. I learned about African history, Jewish history. So I want to be learned. So I'm a seeker too, like Kyrie. But there's another issue. What if other celebrities and other people did the same tweet? You won't see corporate America and every corporation come down on them, and the news media all at once just come down hard. But Kyrie's different. And I'll explain to you why Kyrie's different. Kyrie is what I call disobedient. He did not get vaccinated. This is about the vaccination. This is, if he'd have got vaccinated, they'd say, okay, it'll be a little, okay, just take it down. He'll take it down. But because he took such a big stance and the media came down on him like a ton of bricks, in my heart, it feels like Kyrie was right in that situation, but I'm not a medical guy. I'm not going to be one that's, when I'm not sure, I'm not going to go all out in, but I do feel like that in my heart that Kyrie was on point in that situation, but it was compliance. The NBA and a lot of sports want you to comply. You could be a social justice warrior, but it has to be in the parameters of the Walt Disney Network and whatever corporation. It has to be Walt Disney and NBA sponsored civil rights and social justice. It can't be, okay, we got to get these kids off the street. We got to really help these kids, get them out of the gangs, and let's address the black on black crime so we don't lose more people in the streets. We're tired of, we as a community in the NBA, we stand against gangs. We stand against the rappers being killed. We love the talent of these rappers. We want them to live out their lives. We don't want them to get blown away. We denounce all violence. We're going to do whatever we can. We're going to put money in the community. We're going to teach these kids about trades and coding and different things. We're going to have former gang members talk. We're going to put all our effort into really, really helping the culture move on so we're not constantly 13% of the population. If the NBA should do that, but they're always going after the macro and never the micro, never little micro issues that have to be together, but usually macro issues that never, ever solve issues. And a lot of times they go after the guy that's just not. He's just Kyrie's his own guy, and he's just that's gonna be his own way. The only reason I think he apologized, he wants to play. If he didn't want to play, he'd be like, screw it, I'll retire and I'll go and do my charities and go off and learn more and do whatever I want. Eventually, he's going to do that. I don't know how long he's going to be in the NBA, how long he's going to be able to stomach having to be this compliant guy that has to follow one way and one thought. And if you're not 100% obedience, the media pundits will come down on you. And that's the problem with Kyrie. He didn't take the vaccine. And they're a little mad, and they're looking real close at his words, at his tweets, and they finally found something. Okay, let's get him now. And they got him. And then everybody, they have that. And there's always shirts and hashtags. We're against this, we're against that. Okay. All right. But he did apologize. And that, when he goes to talk to rabbis and they see Kyrie and they talk to Kyrie and they meet him in person, that's going to be big, because that'll allow dialogue with what he believes, what they believe. I believe every race is equal. I believe in the content of character. And I don't care what kind of criticism that goes my way. Because one thing about me, I go nowhere. I don't back down when it comes to my beliefs. I don't care what name I get called. I don't move because of different pressure. I don't know how YouTube reacts to this video, but this is the truth. And that's the reason I said this shows tell the truth. Tell the truth. You always have to tell the truth when you do sports. Now is corporate generated. You have to tell what their truth is. And that's a problem. So you're compromised. The bad thing is, he said, well, we're going to put Kyrie through counseling. He's not a mental patient. He made a tweet, and people didn't like the tweet, and it was about a controversial book, and he apologized, and that should end it. You don't have to put him through some type of mental counseling. If he has his own counsel, that's good. But you don't have to put him through self-sponsored corporate NBA counseling. He doesn't need that, because you're not going to get him to change and be this one thought compliance guy. That's not going to happen. So please miss me with that nonsense. But the first idea of meeting with the rabbis, that sounds like a good idea. But, this is my issue. Everybody was wrapped up in their self-righteous cloak, their haughty self-righteous cloak. Oh, we got Kyrie. We said what we said. We stand against anti-Semitism. But this is the problem. Has the NBA denounced Amazon? Have they said we're against Jeff Bezos? Has Adam Silver said, listen, I'm going to talk to Roger Goodell, and we got to get these NFL games removed off Prime unless he takes that book off of Amazon. Now, the Nets and the Anti-Defamation League did say something about that, but I'm gonna see real close to see this week what Jeff Bezos comments. And another thing, where's the Players Association at? I thought you were supposed to have Kyrie's back or to appeal the situation. I haven't heard not one word from the Players Association. They're always looking to say this is wrong, this appeal should be shortened or whatever. Not one peep. No players got his back. The only one that said something was KD, his real ride or die friend. And I do want to say this before I end this show with Kyrie. Kyrie's got to be wiser. He's got to be wiser. He's got to know that they're out to get him. And you got to be smarter. Because if you're putting that out there and you're knowing that you weren't vaccinated, and there was a lot of sores and a lot of people were not happy with that, and they're name calling the big shows that come on during the day that come after him hard and call him all these type of names, and he wasn't there the whole season. He played the whole season last year when he could. He did. He had to know that. So I think going forward, I would just be less inclined to just make a lot of comments. Just play the year out. And then whenever you retire, you, unless you want to retire early, but when you're in the NBA, I'm not saying you completely comply, but you got to just say, listen, I got to toe the line at this point. The way that I won't say free speech has been snatched away, but the way that it's going now, you can't go too far one way or the other. You just have to I would be as bland as possible and just talk about NBA stuff and keep it moving. Do your charities more than a run. The charity he did, it came. Keep doing that. Keep helping the community and do it that way, and be a positive role model, and then see where it goes when you talk to the rabbis. I think the media's not going to report it, but I think you're going to help a lot of people in the Jewish community, and this is going to be a vehicle for good.